Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Remington Davis. We're coming at you from St. Louis, and today we are talking about the Mesons off-season and what we're doing to improve from our previous season. Last week, we covered in an interview with Matt, the captain of the Bosons, what he was able to learn from his season and what they were going to implement as they went into Worlds. And they just got done with Worlds last weekend, and they placed 15th in their division, which was one of the four groups. They were in the Ochoa division. They were doing extremely well. They ended up having to repair their bot 3 times, though, because of head-on collisions. Like, one was in their autonomous period, where it was completely rammed by another bot, which they didn't see coming because no one knew what was going to happen with that autonomous period. And then the other 2, they just were completely down, sometimes knocked to a push bot, so they had to do what they could to stay in the fight. And they did really well. They ended up coming 15th, and they were at second for a while until the bot broke down. But now that they're out of the Worlds and that Worlds has ended, the official offseason has begun, and now we can really start looking at what we can do to do better, and what we should be doing in the offseason as far as like STEM nights and designing a new robot chassis and improving upon that, as well as outreach and fundraising that we can be doing now. So for the Mesons, we're currently undergoing a lot of training. Like our head programmer, Brandon, he is looking at more intense programming, some involving calculus, so we can actually do a more efficient and effective autonomous period that will end up scoring us some more points. And we're also making sure that, like, our other members, myself included, are learning a bit more CAD and the parts that can actually be used on the bot, and what they can do, so that way we are more efficient with the parts and have different designs, so everyone's implementing and contributing to the design process. Because this season we had kind of a little rough design, because it ended up being placed upon 1 or 2 members, and we want to be able to branch out and have everyone contributing to the design this time. So plans for the off-season in the summer, we're really trying to, like I said, improve the chassis and be more effective with how we actually stay on top of the bot. One of the big things is that our bot was too big last season, and we're going to, as soon as possible, and once we hear the news about the new competition, we're going to make sure that our bot isn't too big unless the competition will benefit from having a large bot. But on top of that, we're going to revisit the programming and how we can be better with that, not just autonomous, but also inside driver operated, so we can do more as far as being fast, efficient, and getting stuff done. We don't know what the game's going to be, but hopefully we can use what we learned this year as far as like learning new code that we've learned on the job and apply it to our next season. And as late as January, we've been doing a lot more STEM nights. We've been going to, like, nearby, there is Sacred Heart, which is a church here located in Eureka. We attended a STEM night where we taught Boy Scouts about the experiences that we've had in robotics and demonstrated our bot to them, letting them ask questions, getting to know what robotics is, science, principles, and stuff like that. And they really enjoyed that, and we're planning on doing more of that, because we love doing that, loving reaching out to the community and being able to teach them about the stuff that we love and enjoy as well. So on top of those STEM nights and training that we're all trying to vigorously do and get better at, we're looking at designing shirts for the community, so that way everyone in the community, if they want, can have their own shirt and support the robotics team for when we go to bigger competitions, and it will help actually fundraise for the team, so that way we can buy parts that we need and get better equipment, because some equipment that we needs to be replaced. As far as that is going, we're looking at different, there'll be simplistic shirts, but we're looking at like red, white, for the base, and like stripes on the sides. It'll have all the team members, the Mesons logo. It'll be really intricate and detailed, and our designs so far are looking really nice. We're just looking to get sponsors before we have a final design pushed through, because we need to have the sponsors on the shirt for them to sponsor us. And we're also looking for exclusive shirts for the team members, so that way they are distinguished from the actual public shirts, so that way it is distinguishable during competitions, but also still nice looking overall. Fundraising is another thing that we're trying to get better at. As far as an off season and during the season, we'd like to do more like concession stands at competitions. We'd like to do like maybe even car washes, like reaching out to the community, seeing what can be done, maybe even without like monetary compensation, going out and helping like clean up parks, get that stuff, get like our voices heard, and out there, so that way people know about us and can support us and other stuff. We've also been looking into like making pins and stickers for the team, which has been all coordinated and done over this last 2 months, 3 months, and those are turning out really well as well. And that, as far as right now, is what we're trying to do. It's the programming, it's the learning more ways and more efficient ways to build, design, implementing that calculus that we're learning, so we can do better in autonomous, revisiting what went right, what went wrong, like with the chassis, and our operating of the scissor lift that we had, because if we end up needing to use that next season, we have a basis to start off of. Looking at more STEM nights that we can go to and talk to the community, but also hosting and doing other things that involve the community that aren't simply just STEM nights. We're also, again, doing the shirts and looking at those, making them for the community as well as the team. Right now, we're practicing on designing chassis, looking for recruits, and trying to get everyone on the same page and well informed, so we can have a coherent, cohesive team for the next season. That is the current update of the Mesons for the off season, and we hope to continue growing for the next season, the 2023-2024 robotic season, which involves the center stage game, which was not leaked but informed at the Worlds. At the end of Worlds, it was informed that we will be doing center stage, and we saw the map for that, but we don't know what it will have in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. This has been Remington Davis from the Mesons, and I wish you all a very pleasant afternoon.